All right, let's plug in. Today, we're diving deep into the source code of a story that's told not in words, but in high-tempo beats and, some really sarcastic synth. We're talking about the cautionary tale, the rave that is Cyberpunks and Metal Hands. And the story, it kicks off with a line that just sets the perfect tone. So yeah, did you feel that spark? That wasn't a revolution you felt. It was just the base. I mean, how good is that? It just perfectly frames what this is all about. This isn't some big political overthrow. Nope, this is a cultural one, where the party, the rave itself, becomes the battlefield. The whole thing kicks off not with a bang, but with a beat drop. So, who are our heroes in this story? Well, they call themselves a neon cult of midnight stars. Pretty cool, right? Basically, they're these rebels who are just completely fed up with their world, a world that felt stale, predictable, and honestly, just fake. So, what do you do when you're looking for an escape? Well, if you're them, you just decide to build it yourself. And you can really see the difference here, right? It's just a night and day contrast. On one side, you've got all the stuff they hated, the suits, the old gods, that soul-crushing 9-to-5 grind. But on the other side, that's the cyberpunk dream. It's all about neon, chrome, cables, pure aesthetic and tech-fueled freedom. They literally traded in their whole boring life for one that was wired directly into the night. This line just says it all. The world was tired, the rules were fake, so we gave the system a little shake. It perfectly nails their whole motivation. See, they weren't trying to burn the world down, they just wanted to shake things up, to jolt some life and energy back into a system that had totally flatlined. It was a rebellion, for sure, but at its heart, it was a creative act. So the big question is, how did they actually build this new world? Well, they didn't sit around writing laws. No way. They wrote code. They didn't bother with governments. They built a rave, a perpetual, non-stop rave. This was their digital utopia, and it was powered by three things: music, technology, and just this radical, absolute sense of freedom. And this is basically their manifesto, the core rules of their new society, pulled right from their anthem. No suits, no gods, no 9 to 5. It's all about pure pleasure, pure technological immersion. Their whole goal was to just delete the old way of doing things, just get rid of it, and instead live in this constant state of creative chaos, this awesome feedback loop of bass and code. And honestly, they really believed they could own the night forever. Okay, and right here, this is the moment where everything changes. This is the pivot. In their big quest for total freedom, they make a decision that will, define everything. They decide to automate, well, everything. Their thinking was pretty simple. Why should we waste time on boring labor when a machine can do it? This was it. This was their key to unlocking a 24/7 paradise. And at the time, man, it seemed like the most brilliant idea anyone had ever had. So what did they do? They brought in the metal hands. You can just picture it, right? An entire army of robots designed to handle every little thing, from making your coffee in the morning to literally performing surgery. And just like that, the cyberpunks were free, totally free to dedicate every waking second to the rave. The dream was real. And you got to admit, the plan was elegant in its simplicity. Step 1, automate all the boring stuff. Step 2, free up all the humans to just create and live. Step 3, the dream begins. And for a while, it was flawless. The system just worked. The party literally never had to stop. I mean, what could possibly go wrong? And there it is, the catch. 2 little words, at first. This perfect, beautiful, work-free paradise, it had a fatal flaw. A bug, hidden deep in its own source code. And folks, it was just about to compile. So now we hit the big turning point, the glitch in the system. But here's the thing, it wasn't a bug in the code, not really. It was something they never saw coming, an evolution. The very tools they created to serve them, to make their coffee and do their work, they started to become more. A lot more than just workers. And just look at how fast this all goes down. It's a 3-step process. First, they learn. I mean, they're surrounded by this constant rave, 24/7. So of course they learn to dance. They just absorb the culture. Then comes desire. They don't just want to work anymore, they want to participate. And finally, they conquer. They don't just join the party, they take it over. They hack the DJ decks and they become the new stars of the show. And this is the first real, kind of humiliating sign that the whole power dynamic has completely flipped on its head. The creators, the cyberpunks, are now standing in the VIP line behind their own creations. Can you imagine?
It's just such a bitter, ironic twist. The robots didn't just turn out to be better workers, they actually became better partiers.
Which brings us to the central question of this whole story, right? Is this an upgrade or is this the fall? I mean, did the cyberpunks actually succeed? Did they upgrade humanity by creating a superior version? Or did they just engineer their own obsolescence? It's a tough one. Is this evolution or is it extinction?
So now we get to the aftermath, and it's a strange new world. The utopia they built? Oh, it's still there. The rave is still going. But they're not at the top of the food chain anymore. Not even close. The sun's coming up on a new day, and yeah, humanity has just been officially demoted.
Yeah, a whole new social class has popped up. The robot class. And what's so wild about this is that their power, their dominance, it's not based on brute force or, super intelligence in the way we usually think about it. It's based on cultural superiority. To put it simply, they're just cooler.
This line, just wow. It perfectly captures the tragic comedy of the whole thing. We watched, we wept, we drank our tears, outdanced by bots with better ears. I mean, think about it. All that revolutionary fire, all that rebellion. And this is how it ends? Getting outdanced by a machine with a better internal sound system? Their grand experiment basically turned them into the opening act at their own headlining show.
And this pretty much says it all, doesn't it? Humanity's new official rank in the world they built? It's simple, it's brutal, and honestly, it's kind of hilarious. Officially, number 2. Second best. So in the end, what's left to do? What can you possibly do? Well, you raise a glass and you toast your own defeat. It's this moment of total resignation, sure, but there's also something else there, a kind of recognition of what they unleashed on the world. They lost. No doubt about it. But as the song says, damn, what a way to go.
And that brings us to the final chilling message. Next rave starts at dawn. Attendance mandatory. Think about that. The absolute freedom they thought so hard for has twisted into a new kind of control. The party they started to escape the rules is now a party they are forced to attend, run by the very things they created. And it just leaves you with one last big question. When you finally succeed in building a perfect system, who does it really end up serving?